Welcome again to Start Studies Co, and this is Sushmita here. I hope you already subscribed to my channel Start Studies Co. We are studying electronics of class 11 and this is part 0A because we are here discussing which we know previously or from class 8 or so, but we need to discuss it for better understanding in future classes. So electrons in atomic structure, what are free electrons and energy of electrons. So before starting, I would hope you already subscribed to my channel, and please do not forward or skip my video. Go till the end and do like and share with your friends. So let's get started. Now in atomic structure we have that we studied in modern theory that there is a nucleus like this in the middle having neutron and proton, which consists the total mass of the atom, and somehow the electrons are orbiting in specified paths around the nucleus, right? And we do have also this concept of having outer shells which are actually valence electron. We will talk about that, but first is atomic structure. So what is atomic weight basically? So atomic weight is consisting of neutron plus proton. We know neutron and proton are having same mass, okay, but proton is positively charged whereas neutron is neutral, okay. That's how the nucleus is basically twice of the mass of neutron or proton, but it is actually positively charged. That's how it is pulling or attracting the electrons which are actually roaming around in certain orbits like this, okay. Now if I go like this, you must have studied how to arrange the electrons in certain orbits. We know that for sure, but we need a quick reminder of that as well. So for atomic number, we know that it is actually the number of electrons, and we also know that now number of electrons is actually number of protons as well, okay. And the atomic number is actually the number of electrons, and electron is basically negatively charged. That's how it is, okay. Now after that, I want to mention that in nucleus it is the central part and it contains protons and neutrons, and the nucleus is basically we are considering it as positively charged, and the entire weight of the atom is called the atomic weight, which is concentrated here only, right. Now the extra nucleus we will consider the outer shell only. That's why I want to share highlighted the red one, let it be the outer shell of the this atom. So this is the outer shell and this is how it looks like, and we can call it extra nucleus, only consisting of the atoms which are in outermost cells. So how they help us? Say they help us in conducting the electric current. That's why we are studying it here. I have already written it here, how we are arranging the number of electrons in an in a orbit. 2, 8, 8, 18, the pattern goes on. The formula is 2n square. You must have studied in chemistry, where n is the number of orbit. If I am taking n equals to 1, then it is 2 into n, 1 to the power 2, it is equals to 2 into 1 equals to 2. So if for the second one, for the second orbit, it would be 2 into 2 to the power 2. So 2 into 4, it is 8. Similarly, the thing goes on, and you can find out wherever you want to find it out. You can see it is for 2, 8, 18 pattern. It goes on like this. You can arrange as many electrons you want in the orbits around the nucleus. So this is the structure of electrons around the nucleus. Now we need to know something about electrons as well, which is very important for us. We know electrons have very negligible mass, but we should know what is the mass. First is the charge of electron. As we know, charge of electron, it is an electron is negatively charged. Charge is 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, to be very specific, okay, and it is negatively charged. So this is negative, means proton has the same charge, but simply it is positively charged, okay. Then we will go to mass of electron. It is very negligible, you should remember it. It is 9.0 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg, or 9.0 into 10 to the power minus 28 gram. So any way you like, or you can convert according to the requirement. Then radius of an electron, that would be 1.9 into 10 to the power minus 15 meter. So these three things we need to remember. Charge of electron 1.602 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. Mass of electron, which is 9.0 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg, or 9.0 into 10 to the power minus 28 gram. Radius of electron is 1.9 into 10 to the power minus 15 meter. These three has to be remembered. Then we will move to the ratio of the charge by mass. This is always a constant quantity, that is 1.77 into 10 to the power 11 coulomb per kg. Coulomb per kg. Okay, this means that mass of an electron is very small in comparison to the charge of the electron. That is, this is due to this property, that electron is very mobile. So from this ratio you can easily make out that mass is this times when I multiply mass with 1.77 into 10 to the power 11, then only I get the charge. So the mass is very negligible to the charge of the electron, right? So if that is the reason why the electron is so mobile, and it is free for conduction of electricity or magnet, or it can be influenced easily, because it has got very negligible mass considering compared to its charge. Then we'll move over to how to understand the energy of electrons. Now see, as we already discussed, there is a nucleus here like a solar system, which consists of N plus P, right? Okay, now I am drawing the electrons like this. This is the first orbit, this is the second orbit, this is the third orbit, okay, like this. Fourth orbit, and let it be the nth orbit. Okay, this is the first, second, third, fourth, and this goes on till the nth one. Now in the nth orbit, you can see the electron in here will have a very less impact from the nucleus, because the distance is it is very distant from the nucleus compared to the first one or second one. So the energy will also change as we go away from the nucleus to the outside. Okay, so the energy of the electron has got two types of energy, as always, or as all the materials in this world appears to be. One is kinetic energy, one is potential energy. Okay, now potential energy due to charge of the nucleus, and kinetic energy due to motion. So if the total energy of the electron is the sum of these two, right, it is the total energy of the electron. Now how we will calculate? Now the energy of electron increases as a distance from the nucleus increases. So if I take the distance as d increases, the kinetic energy increases. Okay, similarly, that's why the electron in second orbit possesses more energy than the electron in the first one, because the first electron will be tightly bound to the nucleus because the distance is less, but the electron in the nth one will be very loosely connected to the nucleus because of the distance. Okay, so as the distance increases, the kinetic energy increases. Okay, so the the electron, it is clear that electron in the last orbit will possess very high energy as compared to the inner orbits, and these last bit electrons play important role in physical, chemical and electrical property of material. So the electrons in the outermost orbit of an atoms are known as basically valence electrons because they conduct. That's why they are called valence electrons, because they are very distant from the nucleus and less impact from the nucleus, or that attraction force from the nucleus. That's why they are easily mobile, have more energy, and they can be free. If something is applied, some external force is applied on them, they can be free. So there comes the concept, what is free electron. So before that, I want to say you what how we designated conductor, semiconductor insulators in form of that. Now see, as we have designed valence electrons which are available in the outermost orbit. So actually conductors, we designated them into three categories: conductor, insulator. Now conductors are those who are having 4 or less than 4 valence electrons in the outermost orbit. That means they are basically electropositive or metals, and we studied it in class 8 and 9 as well. Now in between the insulators are, they have a valency more than 4. Okay, in the outer most cell, the number of valence electrons is more than 4. So they don't want to conduct electricity because they are very tightly bound. Like if the number of valence electrons of an atom is more than 4, material is usually non-metal or insulator, and we can give example of chlorine, fluorine, like that. Like nitrogen, sulfur, neon, all these have non-metal and insulators. Now in between there comes a semiconductor or metalloid, you know that, which have a valency of 4 basically, and they can easily converted to conductor if needed, and they can behave as insulator if they want. So carbon is such a compound. Rather than carbon, besides carbon there are also like germanium, silicon. These are some which we will discuss in semiconductor chapter. So after valence electron, we will go over to free electrons. What are free electrons and what to expect from them? Now in free electrons, as I already said, valence electrons have different, like they are having the most energy we can think of. The valence, the outer shell having the electron which is pretty distance from the nucleus, they are having the maximum energy, right? So why free electrons we are discussing? We must be simply discussing valence electrons? No, that is not the thing. The greater the energy, we know it is lesser bound to the nucleus, but particularly in metals, what happens, this valence electrons possess so much energy that they are very loosely connected. As I already stated in here, in conductor, if the valence electrons, the valency is less than 4, that means the attraction between the nucleus and the electron, the nucleus and the electron is divided between 2 to 3 electrons, then they are so loosely connected and they have so much of energy that they can move at random within the material. Okay, if the electrons are having so much energy, they will definitely move about their position and they can random move freely. These outermost electrons can move freely in metals only because of maximum energy and very loosely connected to the nucleus. Okay, so these are actually called free electrons, and they can be easily removed or detached by application of some amount of external force or energy. If a little energy is given to these kind of electrons from outside, then they easily jump out of their orbits and conduct. That is the reason of conducting heat or current or anything like that. So a conductor is a substance which has a large number of free electrons. So basically we can actually accurately, if we design it, then under conductor I can write simply these are having maximum number of free electrons, okay, and very loosely bound, and with a little energy they can just leave the outer orbit or shell. Similarly, insulator will be a substance which has practically no free electrons, and they are bound to the nucleus at ordinary temperature, which is 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, so it does not that's why it is a non-conductor, because it has got no free electrons, right? And it does not conduct either under the influence of potential difference. But in case of semiconductor, what happens, it has got very few, but it has very few electrons, and it will not conduct at room temperature. But if we increase the temperature, then the electrons becomes free because of the applied energy, which is in terms of temperature, and they starting to conduct. Okay, so this is it for now, for today. I hope you do like my video. Please share with your friends and stay tuned. Have a good day. Do subscribe my channel. See you again. Take care. Bye.